What's going on, Wix Nation? MPS here from Wix Training Academy, and today I'll be showing you a complete guide to getting started to building your first website on Wix.com. So before we jump into things, first, if you haven't already, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn those bell notifications on so you don't miss any content here on the channel. And also, I would love to hear your feedback. Make sure you comment down below if you've been enjoying the content, what type of videos you'd like to see. And as always, drop a like. But without further ado, let's jump in and show you a complete guide to starting your first and building your first website here on Wix. I think this video would only make sense if I let you know it was sponsored by Wix.com. And if you haven't gone to Wix.com, make sure you head over to Wix, get your account, and make sure you experience the power, the affordability, the intuitiveness of Wix, because it's pretty incredible and they've evolved like you wouldn't believe. And it's impressive to see what their platform has become, and it's going to be your go-to source for building a website on Wix and getting to market quick. That's the other beautiful thing behind Wix. So make sure if you haven't already, you click the link on the screen here or down below in the description and head over, get started with your free account over on Wix. Okay, so to start building your website on Wix, you've obviously got to get your Wix account, which we just covered. But once you get your Wix account, you're going to come to their homepage and you're going to press get started. But after you've got started, I'm going to show you where to start with this process, which starts with picking one of their beautiful templates. Okay, so when you're first getting started on Wix, it's going to walk you through this sequence to ask you more about your business, to learn more about what you're looking to build a website for, and then you're going to have an option to choose what platform you want to build on. If you're going with Wix, the traditional editor, this is the editor that I have taught endless times over on my channel, and you could go through and look at all the tutorials there, and this is their classic editor that most of you are so familiar with. But then you've also got Editor X. What's the big game changer with Editor X? Well, there's a lot more design intuitiveness, and in addition to that, the biggest change is that it's completely responsive. So you don't have to worry about a mobile site not looking exactly how you'd like. Why? Because it's completely responsive. So when you're starting in building your Wix website, you've got two paths to go down, which is the classic editor and Editor X. Now, for the purpose of today's video and to show you some of the templates and getting started, I'm going to show you the traditional editor. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come back and just show you some of the templates that are available within Editor X. So first, let's go to the traditional editor. We're just building a traditional site here on Wix. What kind of site are we building? I'm just going to click, we are building a business site here on Wix. And then it's going to walk you through, and then you can choose Wix ADI. And when you're at this choice in the game, Wix ADI is a intuitive website builder that actually just builds your website for you, and then you go in and change the minute details, your logo, your descriptions, your titles, the page content, but it actually builds an entire framework for you in minutes. The only challenge here is you don't have as much freedom and flexibility to create and manage where everything goes as you would with the traditional website editor. But here's the beautiful news. If you started with ADI, you can move a site over from Wix ADI to the traditional editor to get more thorough with how you go ahead and build your website. But again, for today's purposes, I'm going to show you right now the traditional editor. So you'll click Edit a Template. And then your first step in starting to build a website on Wix is coming in here, and you can choose just a blank template and start with a blank canvas if you've got the artistic and design touch. But if that's not you and you'd like to get to market quick and you want something that you can just make a few adjustments here and there, maybe change a few pictures, change some text, change the page titles, add content, well, then you're probably going to want to start with a template. And if you decide you want to start with a template, what you'll do is first you'll make sure you're on your right category. Are you building a business site? Okay, you are. Now, what type of business site are you building? And they've got a bunch of pre-made categories right here. So if you're building technology and apps, let's just say, and you come in here and you're like, this this one right here, this looks like an interesting one. I want to build a landing page for a stock trading platform. Okay, I'm going to view this. All right, this is cool. You want to get a full demo on it before you commit to it and click edit. You press view full demo. Now here's the thing with Wix. Once you press edit, that starts the site. You cannot switch templates halfway through editing. So if you start on this template and then you want to switch over to another template, all of your content doesn't just shift over. You would have to start a new site, start editing on a new site. And I think that's important to note, so that way you don't get started in the process of building and then realize, I kind of want to switch to a different template, because you would have to go start from a different template. Here's the beautiful news. The good news is, if you're starting with this template, theoretically, you can change everything on this template to represent another template. It just obviously takes a little bit more manual labor than you might want to do than just starting fresh. So before actually committing to a template, make sure you look through them and you feel comfortable with it. So that way, when you do get started and you commit to it, you're fully committing to it, okay? So you come in here, you decide this is a really nice looking site and this is the one you want to go with. And if that's the case, what you'll do is you'll click edit site, and then it'll open a page to actually access the editor. Now, once we access the editor, I'm going to make you aware of a few key things within building your first website here on Wix to get you kick-started into the process. But at the end of the day, from this point, after you actually get in the editor, it really comes down to your own creative flair, your own functionality that you'd like to add. And you have the ability to do all of that in the classic editor. It just comes down to you actually managing that in your own flair. So first things first, and you'll see it opens right up. Get started with your new site. Gives you some background information. Now, if we click over here on the site, I want to make you aware of basically the controls here. So on the left-hand side, you'll see add. Now, when you go to add, there's a lot of things that you're going to find under add. Any type of elements, any type of shapes, any type of video, any type of content, any type of animations, any type of applications such as like members or store or bookings will all be found under that add button. So you could come in here, you could add strips, you could add text, you could add images, buttons, galleries, decor pieces like shapes and lines and video boxes and borders and all these different things. You could come to interactive elements. You can add light boxes. You can add slideshows. You can add boxes in general. Listen grid. These are good for testimonials or repeaters using Velo tools by Wix. Videos, music. You can access your menu and choose what type of menu you have in here. You can add all of your social profiles, social bars straight from here. Contact forms, embed tools, so custom embeds, video players, audio players, marketing tools, Velo development tools, all of that can be accessed from here. Your content manager, this is Velo by Wix. This is if you want to build out databases, you access Velo by Wix. And to be honest with you, not just databases, Velo by Wix is your complete advanced development solution in Wix. You can JavaScript code through Velo. There's a lot of things you could do through Velo, and it's one of the most impressive platform additions they've made to date with Wix, in addition to Editor X. Blogs, online store, bookings, events, members area, my designs. So if you want to save custom designs and use them between different websites, you can do that. All of that can be found under add. Then you go to menus and pages. This is your page manager. This is where you'll be able to manage all of your pages, add pages, click on these three dots and manage your pages right here, delete them, hide them, duplicate them. However you'd like to do that can all be accessed from your page manager. Then you come into your theme manager. If you want to choose what type of theme, color scheme your website has, this can be managed right here, and you can manage the different colors within your website theme right from your theme manager, including text. You can see what type of fonts you have on your site, and you could change the type of fonts you have, the color of the fonts, the size of the fonts, all under theme manager. Then you've got background. So this is very self-explanatory. If you want a default page background for your website, you can add a color, you can add an image, you can add a video, and Wix has a bunch of pre-made ones right there. If you scroll down a little further, we come to add apps. So this is Wix App Marketplace. So with the Wix App Marketplace, there's a bunch of third-party and solutions in-house by Wix that you can use to embed into your website to really perform a bunch of different functionality that you don't have just standard with different Wix elements. So if you want to increase conversions. You can use pop-up forms. If you want to create a drop shipping store, you can use Printful. If you want to start collecting visitor analytics, you can do analytics applications. You can collect leads, and you can see they've got a bunch of different categories to help you kind of choose what type of apps are going to be best for your website. And these really help expedite and add on to what's capable in Wix, because you've got these different third-party solutions that seamlessly integrate into the sites. And there's a lot of different apps you can come in here and choose from. So a lot of people that do come over from WordPress are like, well, where do you access this or where do you access that? Well, the same way you would add widgets in WordPress, it's just like adding an app in Wix, except in my opinion, it's a whole lot more clean and more functional than WordPress. But that's just me. I'm not a big WordPress guy, as you guys have figured out, and I'm not afraid to say that. All right, so Media Manager. So if you come back down, you go to your Media Manager. So anything media-wise on your website, images, files, videos, connecting to outside sources such as Google Drive, Instagram, Facebook, Google Photos, uploading your own media, can all be accessed from your Media Manager. And you can even use their Photo Studio and Video Maker to make sure all of the media you've got coming in is up to par with what you want posted on your website. Wix also has their own free images, stock images that they have and give you access to. They've got free Wix videos. You've got Shutterstock you can access, both videos and audio, or videos and images as well. So there's no shortage of media to make sure you've got a clean looking website. If you need a picture of two people walking together and you want it to look legitimate and not just stock, like, you can come in here and Wix has an image for that, and you could search in here and make sure you search. You can upload your own media by clicking upload right there, and then what it'll do is it'll pull up your file manager and it'll allow you to upload pictures or media or files, and you can pull from different Wix sites you've done. You could pull from your Google Drive account, Facebook, Instagram, Dropbox, Google Photos, DeviantArt, Flickr, Dribbble, and even link based off a URL. I know I'm sounding like I'm just running through the mill here, but really you've got all of the information, tools, elements that you need at your fingertips. And this is the classic editor. And then when you want to actually start going through and editing things, let's just say this number one stock trade. All you got to do, double click it, and we can alter it. We can adjust the look of the text. We can change the text. We can, even better, move the text around. This is a blank canvas. You can move it around. You can put it wherever you'd like, right? And then you come in here and you do that for any element on the page in a Wix website. You click on this image, you want to change the column background. You don't like that background. You come in here, you could adjust the settings. You could change it to anything you want. The buttons, same way. You can link it to different pages. You can link it to outside sources. You can link it to files. You can link it to a phone number, an email, or it doesn't have to be linked at all. And you can choose whether it's open in a new window or a current window. So anything you need to accomplish on a website here in Wix, these are the fundamentals to getting started. And what it really comes down to is you getting in here, you making sure you come in with a clear idea of what type of website you're looking to build. And my biggest tip for you, and I'm going to tell you how I started with Wix, because I recommend that's kind of how you go down the same path, is just get in here and start messing around, start adding things, start clicking, start editing things, start moving things, because the one way to learn is to just get in and do it and make mistakes, because the good news is you can't break anything. Why do I know you can't break anything? Because I just moved number one app for stock trade up there. Oh shoot, I don't know what I did. Come up here, click the undo button, it'll go right back. There's an undo and there's a redo button right here at the top of the page. So you're never going to make a massive mistake to the point of you can't undo something, right? Just undo and you'll be just fine. And Wix can also autosave, and you can access site history and save history. So if you want to go back to a previous version of your site, you can do these things. But really, these are the fundamentals to getting started on Wix. And as always, it's important to know, click save, and then when you click publish, this is when your site officially goes live, right? And when your site officially goes live, that's when you can put it out to the world. That's when you're going to want to make sure you have your hosting, your URL, and what I mean by URL, your domain name. You're going to want all of that, and then you can access different site settings up here to just manage the site as a whole. And then dev mode, this is the Velo dev mode. So just to show you a brief example, if we turn this on, what happens is it activates all the development tools. And when the development tools activate, you'll see you've got a whole slew of different options. You can manage page code, you can manage code files, databases, the Velo tools. You've got a page code manager down here at the bottom, so you could write custom JavaScript code down here. You can make it full page, you can make it minimized. You can see the properties and events panel right over here to show different IDs. You can see we click on that, it has its own ID. We click on this, it's got its own ID, and you could come through here and you can manage custom JavaScript code. All right, guys, so instead of showing you a complete how-to breakdown, what I'm going to do is I still want to show you different levels and how to complete certain tasks when starting your website in Wix. We're not going to have a complete guide to go all the way deep into scratch building your website, but what I am going to do is I'm going to show you some of the essentials. Now, when it comes to some of the essentials, let's talk about a few things. First and foremost, over here on your left-hand side, you're going to see your theme manager. Now, if you want to come in here and you want to be able to edit kind of the initial schema and theme of your website, you can use this theme manager and you can actually come in here, change the colors of your website's theme. So if you don't like your default theme colors, you have the ability to change them, and you can actually change your theme as a whole to different themes here. So like if I click this theme right here, I could change the theme of the website, and it would change the fonts, it would change the actual background colors when I add new pages. And then if I came back, you can choose your text, and you can choose actually the text font you have. So across the whole theme, when you add heading 1, what is added? Well, you can actually come in here and choose what that default font is. So if you want it to be Futura Light, if you want it to be a default color, if you want it to be a default size for heading 1, you could come in here and change all of the different fonts and different styles of fonts across your entire theme of the website. And why do you do this? Well, this allows you to expedite your time when you're actually designing your website. Why? Because if you do and make this change once, you know from this point forward, every time you add heading 1, it's going to be Futura 22 pixels and black or gray font based off of this. So that way you don't have to think about it and change it every single time you add it to your site. But for instance, if you decided you did want to change it when you add it to your site because that's not what you wanted and you want a special change for this particular page, you can double click on text, whatever elements you have here on your website. You just hover over it, you can click on it, and then you can double click text, and you can actually edit your text straight from here. So you can change your font right here. You can even upload your own fonts from fonts you've either downloaded or Google Fonts. So if I wanted Recala Medium, I could come in here, it's already uploaded, and then I can actually go through and pick that from the fonts here. And so you can actually manage your fonts and the different fonts you have in here, and you can change it. So let's just say change it to this Bedoni Poster, right? Bedoni Poster. You can see that changed the font. You can italicize, you can change your font color, highlight the font, you can change the alignment of your fonts, all right here. And so that's editing text. Now, another essential thing outside of text on a website is images, right? So if you want to make sure you can add and remove images, say for instance, we want to add an additional image down here, what we can do is we can actually come over here to add, and we can come to image, and then we can either pick free images from Wix, and Wix has a beautiful collection of stock images. There's free illustrations. There's actual stock images that you can either get free, and there's some for purchase ones. But if you came in here to Wix's stock images, it'll load up a manager where you can actually search for particular designs. Let's just say I search for business, and then what I'll do is I'll hit enter. I'll search for business. I say, oh, this is a cool picture. I like that. I click add to page, and then voila, it adds the picture to the page just like that. And then you have the ability to move it. You just click it and drag it to wherever you would like on the page. In addition to that, if you went back to add, you have the ability to do the same thing with video, and you actually have the same thing to do with your own images that you can upload here via the media manager that we briefly discussed earlier, and you can upload your own media and add your own images. That's another way you can go about it. And like I said, you can do the same thing for videos. You can add videos from YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook, Dailymotion, or add your own video that is straight uploaded from your computer via your media manager. Now, when looking at some other essentials when it comes to websites nowadays, what do a lot of people have? A lot of people have social media. So for instance, if we want to add social media to our website, we would come over here to add, and we would scroll down to social. When we get to social, what we will see is there's the ability to add all different types of social media. We can come through here, choose what's going to be best for us and what we need to display. But what I like is we can actually add a social bar. So we can click add social bar, and what this will do is it will actually allow us to add a social bar with all of our social media. Now, to actually set your social media, you click set social links, and you can come in here and you can click the Facebook icon and you can choose where it's linked to. And then you would add the link to your social media there. So that way when they click it, you could determine whether it opens in a new window or current window, and it'll actually direct them to your social media. So that's another cool addition when it comes to actually building and designing a site here in Wix. And adding social media is a nice and necessary function for today's standards. And then some of the last essentials I really want to touch on is, for instance, your menu. If you want to change your menu, you can come up here first and foremost. If you want to add a menu, you could come down here and you can actually go to menu, right? And you can choose the type of menus they have in here. They've got different theme menus, they've got horizontal menus, vertical menus, they've got anchors, and they've got site search. And you could come in here and actually add a menu. However, if you're starting by a theme, you're already going to have a menu. And if you want to change that menu, you can actually press design, and you could come through here. You can manage the colors, the fonts, going to text. You can choose which theme, which font, the size of the font, and then going back, you can actually go here and you could go back to customize design. You can choose what happens on hover. So when you're actually hovered over a particular menu item, what happens as far as the color when it's clicked, and you have the ability to manage all of that straight from your menu design manager. Now, what happens in the menu? Well, it directs you to different pages. So up here in the top left, you've got your page manager. And if you click up there, you click manage pages, this actually brings you to your pages. Now, it's very easy to add a page. You simply click add page. And the cool thing is Wix has gotten so intuitive that they actually have some pre-made pages for you. For instance, an about page, services, projects that you can come in here, and they've already got examples of different styles of pages based off of that topic that may be a good fit for you. But for instance, if you just want to add a blank page, you can click add blank page, and what it'll do is Wix will actually just add an additional page to your website, and it'll be added as a blank page, and you can come in here and name it. We'll just call it page. And from there, you actually have a page manager. By going to these three dots, you can manage all of these different aspects of your page. Do you want to hide the page? Set it as a dynamic page. What are the page settings? You could come in here, change the name, either make it your home page, hide it from the menu. You can choose the layout. You can add different permissions. Is it a members only page? You can add your SEO to this. So making sure your SEO is managed right here, and your advanced SEO. So you've got all of these different tools to be able to manage your pages here in Wix. And so this is just a little overview of what's possible, and at least getting you started on the right foot of being able to add and change your text, being able to add images, manage your menu, manage your pages, add social media, change your theme up. There's a lot you can do, but those are your initial basics to building your site. And then from there, there's so many customizations on top of that, adding different elements, adding dynamic pages, adding a blog. So many cool things that you can accomplish here in Wix. But I hope this gave you at least a good overview of how to get started and how to get some of the basic functions of creating a website done here on your Wix website. Again, I appreciate you watching this video. I hope this was a helpful guide to get started on Wix's platform so you know where to start accessing some of these tools. And if it was, I would appreciate you drop a like down below. Please comment and let me know if you'd like a more thorough version of this. If you'd actually like me to build out a website, even just a basic website, to show you the foundational elements of not just getting started, but building a complete website in Wix, which would be a more thorough, a much longer video. But let me know if you'd be interested in that. And then lastly, you guys know the routine. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, turn those bell notifications on so you don't miss any content. And one final shout out to Wix.com, because if it weren't for Wix.com, none of this content would be possible. And they have created such an amazing platform. To see it evolve from where it was when I got started on it 10 years ago to now is just, it's like not even the same platform. That's how incredible it is. They've added so many tools to make sure that your life is easy as a business owner, as a website owner, and you've got all of the tools you need in one place, including a whole business suite and dashboard right here on Wix. And again, if you don't already have your Wix account, you can access the link on screen or go click the link in the description below. I appreciate you guys watching today's video, and I will catch you on our next one.